Hi, welcome to lesson 4 about street and stage hypnosis, so your quick start guide to set you on the path to success. So in the last lesson we covered suggestibility tests. Your next step is to hypnotize them as far as people are concerned. So it looks like you've taken control of the mind, which of course it isn't what's going on. We're just making sure they're more compliant and they'll do what we ask them to do from this moment forward, which is you frame things as filming it for television, made them laugh, know it's safe and relaxed, you're a calm, caring person. You should have the perfect rapport by now and have convinced them through physical test of fingers and hands that what you say happens to them. Right, basically any suggestibility test, and there's loads of them in the free booklet that you'll have been able to email and request, loads of others that you can learn, can instantly be used as an induction by basically at the end of it saying, giving them an instruction of what's going to happen next and then saying sleep. However, I particularly would advise you to take some notes now. Get a pen, get a piece of paper, pen and a piece of paper. Rewind this video and take down these details. I'd like you to go to YouTube, youtube.com, and search for the username Hypnotherapy Course, and then search for the following videos. There are 3 separate videos I'd like you to look at because they're going to teach you some amazing inductions. The first one is called Locked Hands Hypnosis Induction Technique. Search for Locked Hands Hypnosis Induction Technique. You'll get a 2.5-minute video showing you exactly how to use the guaranteed locked hands induction to then instantly go into an induction to get them under. So the guaranteed locked hands above the head or in front of them, suggestibility test, it shows you how to instantly then use that as a very rapid, safe and gentle induction method. The next one to search for is Jonathan Royle's Hands Over Face Induction Technique. That is obviously taking off where that went, giving you more information on doing the hand over the face technique. In that video clip as well, you'll actually learn the finger stare induction, which is where they stare at your fingertip, and in a matter of 30 seconds or less, you've got them into a hypnotic trance state, which is what you want. All the details are there. Also search for Jonathan Royle's Falling Backwards Stage Hypnosis Induction. This will teach you the classic feet together, hands by your side, tilt your head well back, close your eyes, nice deep breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth. In through your nose and then out through your mouth. It's always good to get people in inductions to breathe in through the nose and then out through the mouth while their eyes are closed because it disorientates them. And the key steps to hypnosis are belief and expectancy, disorientation and confusion, suggestion and repetition, relaxation and so-called sleep. Step 1 being that they must believe that you're a hypnotist and expect it to work. Step 2, you use methods of disorientation and confusion, such as breathing in through the nose and then out through the mouth, gives them a slightly light-headed, dizzy feeling, which makes them think this is happening because it's the special fluence of hypnosis. And things such as making it feel as though they're falling backwards with the gentle finger. But watch that video, Jonathan Royle's Falling Backwards Stage Hypnosis Induction, you'll see what I mean. The disorientation and confusion with the guaranteed locked hands above the head induction is, as the hands have been in that position for quite a while, pushing upwards, it gets tiring. So when you end up letting them lower their hands down, they feel a genuine relaxation of the muscles in their shoulders, which they come to believe is relaxation caused by your suggestions of relaxing. So physical things, they attach your suggestions to them, and the fact they genuinely happen as evidence that what you say works, which makes them even more compliant, especially when they're being filmed for TV. And by the way, for stage hypnosis shows, I always give out a pre-announcement that the show's being filmed. If anyone doesn't want to be filmed, leave now. So you're covered legally for the filming, and also the fact that they think they're being filmed and may at some point be shown on TV or the internet. It's amazing how many more volunteers you get, how more responsive they are, and how much better a show it is. Okay, the final video clip I want you to seek out on youtube.com is to find the username Celebrity Hypnotist and search for the Seesaw Instant Zap Style Speed Trance Induction. The title is Seesaw Instant Zap Style Speed Trance Induction. This is Robert Temple's variation on the light and heavy hands For those who don't know the light and heavy hands, it's a suggestibility test where basically you get people to place the left hand out in front of them, palms upwards, the right hand out in front of them, palm downwards towards the floor. So the left hand is upwards, right hand is palm downwards, and they're to place them roughly level next to each other, as so, and then to close their eyes, which they do, and take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, and you say you'll count backwards from 3 down to 1 on the count of 1. If they concentrate, as I'm sure you will, you'll find that by the count of 1 you'll experience a very strange sensation. So on 3, you should take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. I'd like you to imagine that tied to the middle finger of your right hand, and you just gently tap underneath their palm, pushing their hand into the air slightly. Tied to the middle finger of the right hand is a red helium balloon rising up into the air with each and every second that passes by as it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. And as they use their powers of intelligence, imagination and concentration effectively, I also like you to imagine that on the palm of your left hand is a big pile of leather-bound, very heavy library books. And with each second that passes by, every breath that you take, every noise that you hear, every word that I say, and every thought that you think, that pile of leather-bound library books is getting heavier and ever, pushing your hand down. And as you do, you just tap the palm of their upturned left palm slightly, so it's actually physically pushing it down a little bit. And you count 2. More helium balloons are being added to the bunch, rising high into the air. More leather-bound library books, and you tap the hand again, making your hand go lower and lower. And on 1, and at this point, with the normal light and heavy hands, because there's been a time delay, after a while with your eyes closed, your hand, your left hand, because it's palm upwards, gets tired, the muscles of the arm, and does naturally go lower. So whether their right hand goes up at all, doesn't matter, because when you ask them to open their eyes and have a look, there will be a gap. And that gap says to them something's happened, so they come to believe it's going to be your suggestion. Then you can literally just get them to stare at your fingertip and say, when I tap you on the head, close your eyes, 1, 2, 3, close your eyes. And they do, and you tap the back of the head and say, let your heavy head fall forward, nice deep breath in and out, and sleep. And that's your induction. Your next step will be deepener and post-hypnotic. I'll explain that in the next lesson. But with the seesaw induction, you very quickly do the light and heavy hands, but you never get them to open their eyes. When you get to the count of 1 and there's a bit of a gap, even if there's not a really big gap, it doesn't matter because they never see it. As you'll see on the clip on Celebrity Hypnotist channel of YouTube entitled Seesaw Instant Zap Style Speed Trance Induction, at that point you then say, in a few moments time I'm about to touch your hands. You always warn them so it's not a shock, so they keep their eyes closed. Whenever you touch somebody, or you're going to, tell them in advance so it doesn't bother them. And you say this will act as a sign and a signal for you to relax more completely. That in itself is a bit of a deepener. And you say, the very moment I do tap you on the hands, it's a sign and signal to relax more completely and let your head fall forward towards your chest. And as you'll see on that video I've just told you, Seesaw Instant Zap Style Speed Trance Induction, at that point you go in, take hold of the hands, one's up in the air, one's down here, and you pivot them like a seesaw. So the one that's at the bottom ends up at the top, the one at the top at the bottom. So they're in that position, and suddenly they're in that position, and then the hand that's ended up in the air then also gets brought down and pulled slightly forward, which pulls their body forward as their head goes forward, and you tap them on the back and say, brilliant, eyes remaining tightly closed at all times unless I say otherwise, using your powers of intelligence, imagination and concentration effectively. This has worked immensely well even in noisy nightclubs. The clip you see, the Seesaw Instant Zap Style Speed Trance Induction, is literally as quick as this happens in the real world. The only bit you don't see on that video is where we say, hey, we're filming something for TV, and the health and safety requirements, which we did video for our files, but aren't on there because it looks more impressive just to cut to the chase. I'll let you look at those videos. Also get your hands on perhaps the manual by me of various other induction techniques. There's numerous induction techniques in there, all of which have got some kind of physical element that's guaranteed to work, which then people come to believe. So even if they do open their eyes at some point, because there's a physical element of relaxation of the shoulders, or the hands guaranteeing to lock together, they will never say they weren't hypnotized. They'll say, oh, that was weird, I felt this. And you're always in a successful position then to say, well, actually, you know, with people like you, this technique works better. You can do that if you want and then get them under. Or you can go on to someone else and go, Well, not everyone can be hypnotized in this environment. Some people are hypnotized quicker. It's all about the environment and using your powers of intelligence, imagination and concentration effectively. The people who hear that then think, well, if I volunteer, I want to be on TV and I don't want to look daft. I'm going to do what he says. It's a lot of social compliance. But even if you do believe hypnosis happens, which it does, okay, the point is framing it this way in your mind means you never fail. You set everything up for